You open your banking app. Again, it's the fifth time today. Your heart speeds up a little before the number even loads. You think you're checking a balance. You're not. The real answer is far stranger. Your brain isn't processing money as a number. It's processing money as danger. In 1979, two psychologists named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered something that changed how we understand financial decisions forever. They asked people to choose between winning $100 for certain or a 50% chance of winning 200. Most people took the sure thing. Then they flipped the question. Lose $100 for certain or a 50% chance of losing 200. And almost everyone chose to gamble. Notice what happened there. The math was identical, but the feeling wasn't. This has a name. It's called loss aversion, and it means something simple. Losing $100 hurts almost twice as much as gaining $100 feels good. Your brain doesn't treat money as a neutral resource. It treats it like food or territory or anything else your ancestors once had to protect to survive. Except today, the predator isn't hiding in the tall grass. It's a credit card notification. Have you ever wondered why an overdue bill leaves you more tense than a good investment should make you happy? The answer sits thousands of years in the past. Your brain was shaped in an environment where losing resources could mean death. Missing a payment today won't kill you. But the oldest part of your brain never got that memo. And here the story gets stranger. In 1999, an economist named Richard Thaler described something called mental accounting. He noticed that people don't treat all money the same, even when it's worth exactly the same amount. A dollar from your paycheck feels different from a dollar from a tax refund. A dollar won in a lottery feels different from a dollar saved through effort. Your brain builds invisible drawers, and every drawer has its own rules. That's why you keep money in a savings account earning almost nothing, while paying credit card interest that eats up any possible gain. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's mental architecture. Now picture your ancestors 50,000 years ago. They had no bank account. They had stored food, tools, trust within the group. Their wealth wasn't abstract. It was visible, tangible, countable on their fingers. Modern money broke that logic. Today your wealth is a number on a screen, moved by institutions you've never seen, following rules nobody taught you in school. And the brain you use to make these decisions is, biologically, almost identical to the brain of a hunter-gatherer. That explains why so many smart people make financial decisions that look, from the outside, completely irrational. A researcher named Brad Klontz spent years studying what he calls money scripts. These are deep beliefs about wealth, formed in childhood, often before the age of 7, that keep guiding decisions decades later, even when the adult rationally knows those beliefs don't hold up. Someone who grew up hearing that money is dirty avoids talking about salary, avoids negotiating, avoids investing. Someone who grew up watching scarcity hoards compulsively, even once they already have enough. The script was written before you could choose, and it keeps running in the background, like a program you forgot to close. So what do you do with that? Here's the unexpected turn. The science that explains why you get money wrong is the same science that shows how to correct course. And it isn't more discipline or more guilt. It's something much simpler: visibility. A study led by Shlomo Benartzi, a professor of behavioral economics, showed that people who clearly see where their money is going make better decisions automatically, without needing extra willpower. It isn't about earning more. It's about seeing more. This is where the idea of a 15-minute wealth map comes in. It's not a complicated spreadsheet. It's not an investing course. It's one simple question, answered honestly. Where does every dollar that passes through your hands actually go in a month? When your ancestors needed to survive, they knew every resource they had. They knew how much food was left. They knew how many hides, how many tools, how many days of reserve remained. That clarity wasn't a luxury. It was survival. You lost that kind of clarity because modern money is invisible. It moves through cards, apps, automatic transfers. Your brain never sees the resource leaving. And what the brain doesn't see, it can't properly protect. Spending 15 minutes drawing that map reactivates something very old in you. It's the same instinct that made your ancestors count provisions before winter. Except now, winter is the bill due on the 10th. And the strangest part is what happens after that map exists. People don't become more anxious once they see the real size of their spending. They become calmer. Because financial anxiety, most of the time, doesn't come from the size of the problem. It comes from the fog around it. The brain tolerates known dangers far better than invisible ones. Kahneman showed you fear losing. Thaler showed you missort what you already have. Klontz showed old beliefs still steer today's decisions without you noticing. And Benartzi showed the antidote to all three, seeing clearly. None of these findings are about getting rich quick. All of them are about the same thing: knowing the terrain before you try to cross it. So the next time you open your banking app for the 5th time today, chasing a feeling of control through anxiety, try something else. Stop for 15 minutes. Write down where the money is really going. Not to punish yourself, to see clearly. Because your brain was never wired to fear money. It was wired to fear the unknown. And the map you keep refusing to draw is the only monster that ever really existed. You'll open your banking app again tomorrow. But this time, maybe fear won't be what brings you there. Maybe it will be you, finally, looking at the map that was always in your hands.